Ooh. Is our stop coming up? There it is. Oh, this is so cool. I've never seen a map with a functioning automatic rail system before. Well, here's our stop. Hello, everyone, and welcome back once again to Gary's Mod. And we have arrived in the map we're going to be exploring today, RP New York City. Oh, this is going to be so cool. Now, this has been probably the most requested Gary's Mod map ever since it came out. And I've been putting it off, really, pushing it back and back and back. Mainly because I'm so intimidated by it. From what I understand, this map is colossal. It's actually made by the same creator as RP Southside, which was an impressive map in its own right, and it shared a similar skyline. In fact, it was the opposite side, I believe. This whole city, the Queens side and Manhattan Island, are actually modeled. You see why I've been so hesitant to do this? This is going to take such a long time. In fact, I've been told that it may even take multiple sessions. But I am here for it. At a certain point, we just got to get it done. And I'm not going to be relying on trains the whole time, as much fun as they are. Although, I may actually, due to the scale of this, have to call in some help at some point. And, I like this city already. The stairs are clipped. But I will say, as the excitement from arriving here dies down, and I'm forced to look around objectively at my situation, we can hear the wind, the trains, occasional sirens in the distance. It's like it's all the sounds of a civilization still going, just without the human side of it. Well, there is also, I suppose, the dull squeaking of that rotating faded sign. I actually have dreams about this occasionally. Being in some rundown city, left alone at night, no one on the streets. It doesn't seem abandoned or anything, it's just empty. I'm telling you, in some ways, an urban street at night actually creeps me out even more than a dark forest, knowing there's no one around for miles. This way you know there's people around, you just haven't seen them yet. So it's a question of, is it because they don't want you to see them yet? But I can see that the creator has actually put just as much detail and love into this as they did Southside, if not more so. Oh, look, we can see all the reflections of the buildings and the puddles in the gutter. Oh, this is so cool. And that manhole cover is extremely three-dimensional. I wonder if we can actually open that like we could on Southside. No? Maybe not, but I'm going to keep trying them because, well, even on Southside, not all of them opened. It's so weird how all this stuff just keeps running with no one on it. Used cars. Yep, here's those neon signs. I don't know if that's neon, but you get the idea. Stuff like that, just colored signs against brick, always said sleaze to me. Especially with this establishment, which apparently does not actually have a product to sell. Actually, I just realized a detail that's even creepier than the sounds of a city moving entirely devoid of life. The light's still on up in the inaccessible apartment windows. It's like, where is everyone? Why is everyone keeping off the streets if they're here? You know what areas like this actually remind me of? That one episode of Courage the Cowardly Dog where they go to that apartment where there's that, roach creature. Eustace stays with him watching TV while Courage gets sent on some kind of errand, and he gets sent to this rundown apartment building with all kinds of horrors lurking inside. Alright, I think if we make our way to this intersection, we'll start to see a little bit more. As I was moving, I actually thought I could perceive a little bit of movement on your head. One of those urban aesthetics, huh? Oh, I suppose I was right. Coming into a store like this during the night, especially if there were to be someone actually at the register, it's kind of a respite. I believe I noted something like that in other videos, is like, I love the idea of going through some kind of horror or scary situation, even if it's only scary to you. And then you finally enter some establishment, and not only are you getting yourself into the light, not only are you getting yourself someplace with other people, but that cheesy music coming over the speakers actually does provide some measure of comfort. So that's the thing, is that like a city street is so active during the day, but at night when everything's shuttered, it's so unfriendly. So many potential ports in the walls that you could climb into in a dangerous situation now actively rejecting you. Red Devil Bar. Oh, it's got a custom logo and everything. Let's see what this is like. Even though I don't drink, I have always found bars to be very comfy spaces. I mean, just essentially public areas where you can kind of crash. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. Oh yeah, and this is no exception. Wood floors, dimly lit cushioned booths. That really crunchy creak of the floorboards under my feet, suggesting that this is a place where good times have been had for a long time. And the slow-turning ceiling fan overhead meant to lull you to sleep. But the party's over here. I actually like this. You crash over here, you sit in a booth with your friends. If you're really sleepy, you go in the back so that you can lay your head down and insulate yourself from the aisle by having people sit on either side of you. But if you're a little bit more energized, you kind of work your way over to the bar. You're not quite ready to knock out yet, so you're sitting over here. Or if you want to do more, you come over here where it all opens up. And this is where the party is. Here's a stage worthy of the final moments of a Twin Peaks episode or something. I just love the architecture of this place. The way it seems so old and well-worn, and yet lively. Hello, Moose. You actually appear to be kind of shriveled and faded. I mean, no offense. You do got all your fur and skin on you. For a second I was actually wondering if you might not be an asset from Condemned 2. That one had a creepy moose on the wall as well in one level. And here is the promised pool. I wonder if this is actually playable in Gary's mod. Probably not. Yeah, these are just props on the wall. But I'm sure there's add-ons that allow you to do this. I always think it's really cool when maps actually have, like, architecture that enables the use of add-ons, like stuff that is complemented by it. Now, what's up here? Great place to chuck beer bottles from and claim you didn't do it. And here are the restrooms. Single use, which is kind of strange considering the size of them. We kind of got to keep this on a quickened pace, don't we? And thankfully it seems that the doors remain open on this map, which is really useful for keeping track of where we have and haven't been. Sooner or later we're going to get over there. Now, what's going on over here? Ooh, look at that! The way the flag billows in the wind? I gotta learn how to do this on maps. The way to get, like, trees and all these objects that move in the breeze. That simple feature right there, and it is always the simple features, just allows a map to feel so much more lively. On RP Southside, I pointed out the fact that simply the streets being realistically done adds so much to the realism. I mean, look, we've got, like, a little hatch here, a middle patch. Concealed firearms are prohibited in this facility. Well, what are you gonna do about it? Ain't nobody here. I'm Robert Neville. I can do whatever I want. Yes, I'd like to report everyone missing. Well, it seems those who take reports of missing persons are themselves missing persons. Which in this context, I guess means we should consider ourselves lucky we arrived late. All the wanted posters, eh? Let's have a look around and see what we can see. Ooh, the armory. Kind of strange to put that clearly labeled right behind the front desk, huh? But nothing here. Maybe they had something to attend to. Back offices. Ooh, I love these. Offices with a big glass window on the door, blinds over these. Here's a place to kick your feet up and not do much. Will this be locked? Will I have to do some no-clip nonsense? Nope, there we are. Yes. So this must be just like a small little, like, branch precinct. But what more can there be? We had the armory, we had the offices, had holding. And we have the parking lot, which I guess you access from the back. Ooh, but for a small space, it's kind of strange that this has a helipad. Ooh, yeah! Now there's an idea, and here's another example of playing two potential mods. This map is big enough that, well, I mean, given this stuff, if we can indeed go over there, it has to have a pretty high skybox. It's actually one of the few Garry's Mod maps that's actually conducive to aircraft gameplay, which is quite a thing. I spent a lot of the Southside playthrough thinking about potential cops and robbers gameplay, but this would actually be on another level. I mean, imagine you rob a store, you and your buddies all get in the car, you're speeding down the road, and then a police helicopter flies over and keeps a spotlight on you while others pursue in cars. And it looks like... Oh yeah, this looks like the bridge to the other side. But I don't think we're ready for that just yet. I think we'll finish exploring this before I explore other options. Don't walk? Well, that sign can't stop me because I can't read. Enjoy a good choke. May contain unknown ingredients. This really does feel like GTA 4, more a walk around. Actually, I wonder if that overpass doesn't maybe actually go underground. Like maybe there's like a tunnel that goes across the river. This seems to be a little public basketball area. Throwing in VR doesn't really work too well, especially in Garry's Mod. But let's see if we can't maybe get something going here. Yeah, this is not going to work too well. Let's actually see if we can't get a decent riverside view. So let's sprint down here. All this probably passes under the bridges and such. Harbor Drive. Yeah, there actually is stuff over there. Helipads and docks. I may not be taking an airboat down into that river. Look at the way the water passes underneath, reflecting the moonlight. And that being our only measure of just how fast it's moving. Oh, there's the Statue of Liberty over there, much closer than it is in real life, towering over the Brooklyn Bridge. And it looks like there's actually more walkways down below. Is there anything to actually explore underneath the bridge? A classic 70s New York barrel fire. Minus the fire. People always joke about how, like, dirty and disgusting these hot dog carts are. These guys actually pay, like, a fortune to be here. They're, like, super regulated. I wouldn't be surprised if they're cleaner than, like, you'd get from a fast food place or something. What is this supposed to be? Maybe the lower floors of an apartment? Yeah, that's what it's looking like. Quite a rundown and dingy one as well. I mean, imagine living in a place where there's just openly graffiti on the interior walls. Let's just see where the elevator takes us. Just surprise me with a floor, since I'm obviously not going to have time to do every room. I don't know what I expected, but I turned around and just movement jump scared me. Just any movement. In VR, you never know what button on the elevator you pressed, so, I guess we'll just see what... Oh, I see. That's not 1, that's I. I-H-G. Interesting convention to have them named after letters rather than numbers. Huh. You know, a bare apartment with blinds drawn is actually kind of spooky all its own. And from the sound of it, the train runs right outside the window. Here it's been pulled to the side. And with all the congealed nastiness that's solidified in the blinds, or curtain, it's actually just kind of stopped right there. Yep. What a view. Ooh, we can actually climb out onto the fire escape. That's cool. Huh. You know, the noise sucks, but the view is actually quite gorgeous. I wonder where that lands in terms of pricing. And the answer is this thing's probably like $3 or $4 grand a month if you're lucky. Yep. Let's see if we have roof access. Every once in a while, I'll just stop hearing footsteps. Usually, jumping fixes it. Here we are. Oh, it's actually quite dark up here. Yeah, look at that. Oh, from here we can see the rolling landscape in the back. Oh, this is such a neat skybox. And, Cops and Robbers gameplay in mind, we can actually jump down onto the ventilation below, breaking our fall and making our escape. That's the cool thing about these city maps, I think, is that you can design it in such a way where there's always potential to keep running. Anything that seems like a dead end, give the player some kind of out, something they can do. For example... that is really triggering my vertigo. I think it's actually worse, because a lot of maps have, like, really far drops. But it's not often there's so much detail to contrast the ground I'm standing on with. Alright, we can jump down to here, to here, to here, and oh yes! Yes, you can make a train getaway! That is so cool. It's not what I'm trying to do right now. Now it's actually a question of how am I getting off of here without dying. Whoop! Never mind, it'll just drop me off. Well, you can't have it all with physics. It actually does do a pretty good job of holding you in place when you're on board. Well, let's take advantage of the sign. Yep. 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 So much verticality, but it's cool. It's not done in a way where it's, like, clear that it's supposed to all be vertical. You gotta look for it or be in that situation in order to see it. Reminder, expose of hazards properly. I don't think that's the word you were looking for. Blood drive. Yeah, I mean, that certainly does fit the theme of what you're doing, I suppose. Psychic readings, $10 special. I have never understood these things. I don't understand how psychics are able to not only draw enough customers to keep their business in business, but also, like, fund their life. Like, do these people own homes? I've never understood how they're able to stay in business. Not only that, but all coexist and, like, compete with each other and stuff. How do you market a psychic business? One of these little delis that just scare the absolute crap out of me because it's just a deli, but there's, like, bars on the windows and stuff. See, that had a nice ring. That's also a nice touch, by the way, the little ring when you open the door. Oh, now let's see what copyright-friendly candies we have today. Fat Bar, Day Day, Fix, Bubble Bum, Pounds, and Eat. Just eat. Eat it. Just eat it, fatty. We know you will. I gotta know what the red room is. Concrete jungle. Dark and dangerous, drum and bass, and breakbeat all night long. Please be prepared to show ID. No one under 21 will be served. Well, I got your ID right here. Oh, I get it. It's a club. Okay, well then I brought the right thing, because my knowledge of nightclubs is that this is where John Wick stuff happens. Interesting space. Huge room, brick walls all the way up to the ceiling, all lit by neon and fluorescent. Oh, and I bet, much like the club in Southside, I bet we can actually mess with this. I mean, I don't want to for fear of playing copyrighted music, but this is really cool. Look, we can even play with the different effects and stuff. There we go. We can cycle between those. We can change the light color and light effect. That is not... There we are! Oh, this is so cool. I love it when not only is the architecture really unique, but so is the functionality, so that all of these spaces can actually be used for their intended purpose. So here's the bar, and here's the bathrooms. Wait, so then what's over here? Because I assumed the bathrooms would be down this hallway. And I don't think this can lead to a back alley because we've gone underground, haven't we? Ooh, there's a VIP area. Alright, well, we'll definitely want to check that out. No. Oh, I see. It's on a hill. So the lower floor is actually ground level. But it gives the illusion that you're going underground. That's kind of cool. Now, what's with this VIP area? Ah, yes, all the nice couches are reserved for here. As well as all the empty space, apparently. But from here, you can make eye contact with the DJ, stare down at all the peons dancing below, while you don't dance, which I would assume would be the thing you came here for, but whatever. So what's up here, then? Is there maybe some kind of, like, roof access? Oh, no, here's the boss man's office. Oh! See, I thought that these darkened squares would be like screens or something that can maybe be operated from somewhere, but no. Tinted windows that look down from above. It's just always been really interesting to me how architecture and perspective can sort of influence your whole perception of a space. Alright, well, after I rifle through your drawers for some good dirt on you, no doubt, let's keep going up to what is presumably the roof. My god, sleazy nightclub owner's got his own helipad. This is definitely the perfect criminal den for a John Wick boss fight. Look, the bad guy can even escape at the end. I bet if you went like this, you could even run and jump. I'm actually, for the sake of organization, kind of glad that I didn't make it over. But I'm sure on subsequent attempts I could do it. Lonely road. Yeah, that it certainly is. There's like hardly anything here now. Seems like we're coming down into a more industrial area. Oh, look at that building over there. Almost looks like a plant bud rising out of a pot, doesn't it? Wait, does the moon still do the thing? Yeah, it does. It still does the thing where it seems to be tied to my head's rotation. Oh, it's a Project Zomboid player's dream. But nothing else here much, though. Why is that bench so lit? That was kind of strange. It almost appeared to have like a yellowish glow to it from a distance. See, here's where it starts to get kind of spooky. Walking down the streets, for some reason, even though there's nobody around, having even the perception of all these doors lining the road, it makes it feel like if something were to happen, there's somewhere you can go. But wandering off into the dark, only solid walls on every side, it makes me feel so penned in. And the sound of police sirens are the opposite of comforting. But yeah, it seems like we've moved into a more like industrial warehousey area. I suppose there's a lot of like limited areas where you can actually cross in terms of like the bridges and trains. But right here is where you would do your smuggling. The places most people wouldn't be looking. Across the way, it even looks like a tunnel comes out on that side. Oh, maybe we can actually go inside these. I mean, if you're going to call attention to a door... that always freaks me out, looking down and seeing water flow under me. Makes me question how solid the ground I'm standing on actually is. Isn't, like, a lot of Lower Manhattan, like, built on the remains of, like, sunken garbage barges or something? But, as expected, it's more or less just empty warehouse space. You know, you get so used to a grid that it can get a little bit jarring when you see the roads in the city actually take, like, ups and downs and twists and curves like this. You just don't see it too often. Now, what is it in here that warrants 24-hour video surveillance? Now, this looks like a good, if a bit obvious, criminal hideout. But I guess if you don't have the funds for the Red Room, this is where you want to be. But it is ultimately just another warehouse. Ooh, a junkyard. Oh, we've got, like, what appears to be piles of compacted cars and garbage and such. With those models, this whole place does actually remind me quite a lot of Grand Theft Auto 3, which makes sense because I do believe it's meant to be a representation of New York City in the year 2000, which is about the time GTA 3 came out, from what I remember. A tunnel which leads to Southside. That is so cool, thus tying it all together. Although I guess it sort of makes it so that Southside can't possibly be the west side of the river. The west side of Manhattan, anyway. That's super weird. Oh, these windows are just, like, boarded up. But it doesn't look like we can actually see inside. That is beyond strange. Alright, this time let's do the mystery box. Let's enter from a back alley, and then find out what kind of establishment we're entering. Someplace we've been before? No, but it's someplace certainly very nice. Here's the kitchens, the freezer, which I wonder if it actually hurts us if we close ourselves inside. I actually have no way of knowing. I mean, the map Trouble in Terrorist Town Exclusion was doing damage to me without telling me. But yeah, this is really nice. A room back here for all the dealings Italian-American business owners are known for. And if we come to the front, there's probably a restaurant, right? Nice place, too. I'm not a huge fan of most Italian food. However, I will say that Italian restaurants always have the best decor, like hands down. You know what it is? It's not even that I don't like Italian food, it's that I don't care for tomato sauce, which sort of locks me out of really enjoying a lot of things. I mean, I love pizza, but you don't really taste the tomato sauce in pizza a lot of the time. Now, what else is there? Because it seems like we've looped back around. All this looks familiar. Yeah, there's plenty... See, what I love about this map, from both an RP and an exploration perspective, is how there's plenty of places that are just like open store space for players to do whatever catches their imagination. But there are also plenty of themed places like this, furnished with props and all kinds of flavor. In this case, literal flavor. But still leaving enough for players to do what they want. And look at the reflections on these tiles. Makes it feel like the ground is almost slick. I can feel how chilly it is in here. Doing their own butchering back here, are they? I bet the restaurant across the street makes use of this place quite a bit, doesn't it? And here's their own freezers, their own smaller freezers, I guess. Excellent for temporary meat storage. But, you know, less visible temporary meat storage. And I see they've got the tools. Ooh, let's have a look at gas prices. You always have to find out in video games what gag price they put on the signs. $5.95 for regular. Given that this is 2000, that's even more devastating. But it seems like this is more or less the same stuff as anywhere. Greed magazine, Mayday, Dead Bird. Ew. Slums, downtown living. Doggies, and that is a very angry doggy. Faker's Quarterly. Now this is a freezer to get trapped in. Oh, that would be hilarious. You're just like pounding trying to get out. Nobody can see you because this mist is so dense. There's so much potential for humor in being able to walk behind the freezer shelves in a convenience store. Actually, you know what that reminds me of? You remember the one dude in The Simpsons Hit and Run when you went into the Quickie Mart and there was like some old guy just frozen in the freezer? You know, where you freeze things? You know, I had talked in RP Southside about how it really is special when you have an RP map that's actually big enough to be conducive to driving. So it's even crazier that this one is big enough to allow for flying, as well as all the driving that RP Southside offered. And you know, like, I've been going through this last section feeling like I'm almost done exploring the map, but I'm not. Oh, look, we've even got a tunnel we can walk through where the lights dim and yellow. It's a change that you only notice when you're already in it, and then start wondering who's going to be there when you reach the end. Always thinking about that one Hey Arnold episode. The man with the hook for the hand who waits at the end of the tunnel in the park. Ooh, hello, what is this? That looks like some kind of mansion. A mansion with see-throughable windows. Oh, I did not expect to see something like this. Oh, it even triggers a doorbell that goes off on the property. This is incredible. A house like this could have been a map all its own. And imagine, if I had said it's like $3-4 grand a month to have that one apartment, imagine what you'd be paying for not only your own house, but a mansion in one of the most high-demand locations on Earth. Have your own garage, your own massive driveway. Like, at this point, you're just showing off owning all this space. Oh, let's have a look. Wow. Huh. You know, I never thought the priesthood would actually pay this much. Or, at all. Nice wide kitchen. An island in the center, so plenty of space for preparation. Although this place, too, appears to have been left bare, so that players can furnish it however they want. And those doors do look less residential and more, I don't know, businessy. Maybe it's a hall that's meant to be rented out for events and such. Oh, you've got a wine cellar. You've got a dark, moldy, spacious wine cellar. Oh, I hate rich people, I hate rich people, I hate rich people. Why do they build things like this? Oh, this sucks. This sucks, this sucks, this sucks. I didn't expect to pivot into horror this quickly. Even if it is only horror in my own mind, but is there a light switch or something? There is. I won't be using it. It's more fun this way. Why is this behaving this way? Is there maybe something I should know about here? And room for more. I'm telling you, a house like this could either be owned by the local criminal mastermind or the target of the low-life thieves. Although I'd hardly blame them. Let's close that forever. Ooh, the private study. And it seems they ran out of shelf space at some point. Look at this artwork, the destruction of a city, it looks like. Huh. Well, that's ominous, given the context of this map. Actually, I had initially said it as a joke, but it is sort of concerning that whoever lives here chooses this as the backdrop for all their work. And especially since the stacking of the books makes it feel like they got out of here in a hurry. Hang on, that's a weird texture. Is that a button? I mean, it looks just like a... Okay. I thought this thing looked a little bit sus. That's part of the reason I kept poking around. Oh my, it's not just a secret storeroom. This goes further back. Should I have my flashlight out? I don't strictly need it, but, I mean, as like a safety thing, I kind of feel like I do. I kind of thought the wine cellar would be where the worst of it happens. Oh no! Oh no! I felt eyes on me from this thing from the second I walked in here, and now for all I know there were? That tears it. There is definitely something nefarious going on here. I have to say, though, I do have an immense appreciation for the Scooby-Doo style of haunted house design and the eccentric minds who build their homes this way. To be honest, I actually do like crazy people for that reason. I feel like crazy keeps the world interesting. And dangerous. That's not actually a good statement as an absolute, but you know what I mean. What a kingdom to look out over. Ooh, you guys have even got your own little pool area around the side. Honestly, this kind of looks like the kind of thing I used to build in The Sims before I furnished it. I would hope nobody deletes the ladder. Oop. You know, just on a whim, because it has historically been kind of the precedent for doors with lights next to them to have working doors. Oh my god, we can actually enter these houses. That is so cool, although quite dark inside. Why do they have to turn on like that? Oh, we really are exploring luxury now. This is quite a lot of space, although that window is fake. I suppose you take luxury in the ways you can get it. but they have their own garage. And we can even climb out the back onto the fire escape. Cops knocking on the door, we climb out the back window and slither down into the alley. It does this amazing thing where there's just, like I said, natural layers to it. If you're driving on the streets, it'll look like one thing. If you're hiding from the cops, it'll look like another thing. If you're up on the rooftops, it's another. And it all does this very seamlessly. Like, that's something that always fascinates me, is maps that look completely different depending on who you are and what you're trying to do. But it seems like that's about all we have to do here. And we're gonna have to make the trip into the city proper. I don't really feel like getting on those creepy trains again, at least not now. So I think I'm gonna have to call for a ride. Ah, there's my ride. And he's coming in a little bit hot! Hi. You must be my... who am I kidding? It's not like there's anybody else around. Hey, Times Square, please? Oh man, I'll be honest, I'm pretty nervous being out here on the streets alone at night. I'm glad you came by. Almost didn't expect anybody to come. I'll be grateful for the conversation. So, you've been, doing this a long time? Cool. I'm in good hands then. To be honest, I was a little bit nervous with how quickly you came in, but I guess that's just me not being used to the city life. You been to this place up here before, the Red Devil? Huh. I was only inside for a second, but it looked like a nice place. Looked like fun. I think you were actually supposed to make a turn back there?
I'm lost.
You're lost? What do you mean you're lost? I thought you said you've been doing this a long time.
I didn't say anything.
I guess. You know, I'll be honest, it's kind of weird that there's nobody on the streets, right?
Forget about it.
Are you saying that I should forget about it, or are you just reading the sign that we passed under?
Forget about it.
I don't understand city life at all.
Awful quiet tonight.
Yeah, it sure is. Is it like this every night?
All night, every night. Only night, no day.
Oh. So how long has it been like this?
What year is it? That's a pretty lady. What do you think?
Sure is.
Yeah. She doesn't talk much, though.
Is that what you do? Try to talk to the only other car in the city?
Yeah, sometimes. She got a pretty face. Doesn't complain too much.
She's not the only one.
I've been stuck in this cab for as long as I can remember.
Wait, you're physically stuck in the cab?
Yeah, I can't open the door, nothing.
Oop.
How'd you get in here, by the way?
I just opened the door and got in.
Your door opens?
Yeah, have you never tried?
I've tried. I try every night. All night. Every night. Only night. No day.
Is the door actually stuck, or did nobody ever teach you how to open the door? You know what? Don't worry about it. I need you driving for now.
These gas prices haven't changed in a while, and that used to be a 7-Eleven. Someone's doing math, and I'm not happy about it.
Oh man, I hate math.
I think I missed my turn.
Yeah, just take it back around. But man, I had a look at the gas prices earlier, but to be honest, I don't really understand why you're complaining. I mean, if there's nobody here, why do you even pay?
I don't know, man. My car never runs out of gas.
Alright, right here is good. Alright, well, thanks for the ride. Here's your cash for gas, I guess.
Hey, you ever walk around the city at night and you see the subtitles on the bottom of the screen and they say, "Door open"?
I don't play with subtitles, but I actually don't know then. Man, there's a thought. What a weird guy. And oh, they've actually done it! A representation of Times Square. This is so cool! Not only that, but a representation with all the lights and moving signs, all the scale and verticality of it. This is absolutely nuts. I never thought I'd see something like this in Gary's mod. I mean, it must be an absolute feat to get this to all work in one map. I mean, remember, Source is such an old engine. To be able to do all this without loading screens, with all this detail, with all these interiors, and actually have it run well, even on modern hardware, just the way these things work, it shouldn't. Honestly, though, for those reasons, this place, more than any other I've been to on this map so far, just makes it all the more jarring just how empty this place actually is. All the scale and the lights, the sounds around us, it just does not compute. It's just not an image you'd come across. It's like your brain is desperately trying to tie these associations together, and it just isn't happening. Lights, sounds, streets all mean people. So where are they? What is this? Central Mall. But space available is right. All these stores are empty. And as soon as we step inside, all those sounds instantly fade away. Well, not all of them. Well, those do look to be maybe different places inside here, although it's kind of hard to tell. All those sounds almost directly indicate people, the traffic noises and such, but somehow just that faintly playing music in a quiet room is so much worse. It actually reminds me of the change in tone that Cry of Fear often had when you entered a new space and something bad was about to happen. I'm actually curious. I wonder if that theater across the street is open. Now playing. Nothing apparently. Oh, Give Up That Car, America's Most Addicted Head Full of Lead, and Cleaver, the Triple X Files, Target, Union City. I believe Union City is another map also by this creator. Now this appears to be a regular movie theater and not a Broadway theater. I've seen 2 Broadway shows in my life. It was Mary Poppins with my 2007 class. 7th grade class in 2007. And Spamalot the following year. Only one screen? Well, if that's not creepy, I don't know what is. Imagine you wake up one day to find all the systems of your city still running, but no one around. Finally make your way to a movie theater, see this. Sit down in one of the chairs, and notice, as your eyes adjust to the room around you, the transparent figures have faded into the seats, And you start to get the feeling that you've done something to yourself by staring at this image. Hey, if there's nothing on the screen, I'm gonna come up with my own story, alright? King Fries. That reminds me a lot of the enterable restaurant in GTA 4. I mean, I know they're both New York City, but I wonder how much inspiration this is actually taking from the GTA games. More or less a regular fast food place. Let's see what else is around. The thing is, from this central location, I'm not actually sure how to structure this. Before, I was lucky enough to kind of start in a corner, and there are subways about the place, but I'm probably going to want to save those for near last to see where they can take us. I guess we head over to the river and try to go from there, right? It feels really, really good to be able to just walk in the middle of the streets, but it still feels wrong. Ooh, it looks like we can come in here. What kind of place is this, anyway? Ooh, there's a paid parking area, but I can't figure out what this is supposed to be. Maybe some kind of high-end residential or hotel? Probably leads down to parking. Yeah, one of these. Yeah, definitely high-end residential. Wow. Oh, this is like some kind of like high-end like Patrick Bateman house. Look at this view. And right over Times Square. That is sick. And I love that advertising that I'm able to see from here. What appears to be a lit cigarette atop a sign. I don't think they allow advertising like that anymore. But this is incredible. Look, it wraps all around. These full glass windows. I don't think I can make that jump to intrude on anybody else's apartment, but I don't imagine this is where that kind of crime takes place. All a matter of perspective. It's crazy to me how a player performing one activity on this map in one location can have such a different experience to somebody playing the same game on the same server. I just love how there's like such consideration in this. For every play style, for every desire. And just room for players to use their imagination as well. That's the coolest thing about this. But there is our initial goal, which was the river, and that is quite a dark alleyway. Here's an unrealistic thing, a grassy alleyway on Manhattan Island. Oh, I don't like this. Can we get through here? We actually can. Not a bad place to lose the cops, I suppose. Run through there, and they don't know if you went left or right. Yeah, I bet if we look over here, you've got the heliports and the dock. Actually, which reminds me, I need to head over to the far south and see how we actually get down to that dock area over there. The one that's across from the warehouses and presumably used for smuggling. Okay, come on, you cannot tell me that that tree would be there. This is weird. A 7-Eleven that is only the gas station component. Is that a real thing that exists? Like, is there actually a 7-Eleven that doesn't have, like, even a convenience store? Actually, I don't know of any gas station, period, that doesn't even have a convenience store attached. Okay, but if there is a way down to the water, I mean, it would have to be through somewhere like here, right? Oh no, this is a construction site. Oh, guess I tripped the silent alarm, got busted for trespassing. Wow, that was actually so directional, I almost expected a car to come pulling around the corner now. And especially now that we know we're not the only ones around here. Okay, that elevator probably takes us to the top. Let's just have a look around first. Under maintenance, I can see that. Oh, we can't actually seem to go through there. So it looks like the elevator it is. Oh, look at the city rising up around us. Watching the ground recede below. Oh man, how tall is this thing? Now up here is a great dead end for a final confrontation. Lots of looping side hallways and darkness to hide in. When you reach the end of the road, there's nothing left to do but fight. All these spotlights casting ominous shadows through the bars. Ooh, and we get full roof access. Or, what may not be the roof by the end of this, who knows? But there's our view. Oh, look, from up here, we can see across to the other side. Make out the silhouettes in the fog of buildings that were our whole world before. That's the thing. From high up, I mean, it really is true. Everything looks like ants. And so what could be like your amazing story, your RP story that you tell for years to come, could just be happening in the distant background of what somebody else is doing. I think that's what Gary's Mod RP, and really all open-ended multiplayer experiences are all about. It's about creating stories for each other to tell for years to come. I mean, I always think about the time I was with my friend on RP Downtown V2, and we had a bar in this little back alley, and we started getting extorted by players who were like mob bosses. We would have to give like a huge cut of our profits to them. Of course, unbeknownst to them, and even to my friend, I had like a counterfeiting operation in the attic. And then we told the police, and they wanted to set up a sting operation where they set up like cameras in the bar, and then they went to the attic upstairs to like have their whole little operation. And of course, when they set all that up, they noticed my little counterfeit operation, and it became a whole thing. I still remember that like over a decade later. And I think a map like this, had it been around at the time, I mean, I'm just imagining all the stories people will have about a place like this. A place that gives them so much freedom, because that's what I think games should strive to do, especially multiplayer ones, is just give players the tools to create these emergent stories. That actually looks like it goes downward. Oh, maybe this is actually how we get down to the dock. Alright, let's try this. Ah, yes it is! This is what I was seeing from the other side. How perfect is this for smuggling operations? A place away from most player activity? A place where you can actually cross the river unseen. Then again, crossing this river would be quite scary in the dark. And I know something about being lost at sea in the dark being scary. I still remember on RP Southside, I took the airboat to try and explore what was out there. People on the Discord started making DJ Khaled memes. More boarded windows. You're putting boards over bars. Seems a little redundant, don't you think? And a Moldy old mattress crumpled against the wall. Where does this stuff lead? We must be able to access some of that stuff, right? Yeah. Oh, we can. Yeah, it's very hard to... Ooh! Ow, my bones. It's very hard to get off of a ladder in VR, especially where you want to be. Okay, let's just jump off right here. Yes! Imagine if there was just like a horrified family just staring out, sitting at the dinner table. One kid's meatball falls off of his fork. But this place looked nice from the outside, but it's kind of run down and Silent Hilly from the inside. Also, very strange to have been walking along this place, seeing the lights in the windows, but then coming inside and finding no one here at all. I mean, I had been taking the lights in the windows as signs of life in this city, but if even that's not true... The apartments up here any different? Not really. Although we can still climb out the windows onto the fire escapes. Is there anything we can see from here? Even more subway stations, suggesting that the network is even more extensive than I believed. And I can see some flickering lights in an establishment at the end of the street there. Roof access. I think that was the train, but... Didn't it sound a lot like a door opening or shutting, echoing throughout the building somewhere? I never expect it to be so dark when I come up here. And such a wide space. And just nothing to stop you from going over the edge. I hate heights so much, and... VR definitely makes me think about it more than I otherwise would in a game. Yeah, that building is nuts. Like, just absolutely crazy. It stands out so much from all the others. Alright, well, back at ground level now. The den, keep out. Okay, well that sign means must have gun out to enter. Seems like it might be another nightclub. Then again, seems like it could also be a criminal den. I knock on the door, this slides open. They have like a 7-foot tall guy here, looking through, peering down at me, scar across his eye. The door opens, reveals he's like 3 feet tall and standing on a desk. Oh, I see. It's an underground fighting ring. Literally. No fighting outside the ring. Well. What a thing to have. I wonder if players can come here and, like, place bets and such. I have to say, though, kind of funny how they're trying to lay low, and they literally have, like, a big neon sign next to this back alley door next to a keep out sign. That might be the mixedest message. Wait, can we go the other way? Nope, that's a dead end. Imagine the one old lady with the binoculars in the apartment right there that ends up being the downfall of them. Oh, it looks like there's like a Chinatown area. I always like the way these things are strung across the streets. It makes it feel so much more layered, I feel like. Fine jewels, yep. This place is surely the subject of many a robbery. Although it seems like everything's under lock and key right now. I wonder if, like Southside, it doesn't maybe have like a silent alarm that can be tripped somewhere? Yeah, a whole locked area right here. Although, if someone were to try to rob this place and they were able to, say, subdue the criminal themselves, I guess it could be used as a makeshift holding cell. Maybe even ship them off to the fight club, fight on the owner's behalf, make them some money. coffee shop. Seems like more than a coffee shop. Seems like much more than a coffee shop. Oh, what is it with this place in hidden basements? Guess they grow their own stuff here. And another exit out onto the alleyway. Ooh. That would actually mean there's a fair bit more depth to this place than I thought. But this is the most rundown area we've been to yet. Not even any lights on in these windows, suggesting that this whole part of the building is actually abandoned. Boards up on every single window. This goes downstairs as well. But to what? A kitchen? Something very weird is going on with that mirror. What is this supposed to be? Well, here's the boss's office. Complete with sword. There's no way that back alley entrance was actually the main entrance to this place, right? It's got to be up through here. But man, this map is absolutely insane. I just can't believe how every time I've slithered down some dark alley, there's always been something to find. I don't even have to really, guide myself because everywhere I look, there's something new to see. It actually sort of makes me question from a gameplay perspective if there's not such a thing as too big. I mean, a map this size, you've got to have 30 plus people in order to even encounter each other, right? A gun shop. These things are, of course, all over New York City, especially Manhattan. But I wonder if this place doesn't have a gun range as well. Nope. Just all these shady, straw-filled shipping crates in the back. Writers of bad checks will be shot. It's been a long, long time since I've been in a gun shop, but I wonder how well a sign like that would actually fly. Open 364 days a year. Due to price increase on ammo, do not expect a warning shot. That's the kind of thing I expect on some Alabama man's property, not this place. Well, if nobody's here, I suppose it does have a range. Pretty good. Golden Dragon. It looks more like a subway station entrance than whatever that place was, doesn't it? Actually, given how layered this place feels with all the lights and banners, and yet with all these 2D decals for the storefronts, it all just feels like a movie set, like we're on the Great Movie Ride or something. And I don't see any other enterables here, but of course we always have to check the back alleys. Is this perhaps openable? It is. There's all kinds of space for shady dealings. Could even hide back here, yeah. I wonder if there wouldn't even maybe be a drug trade on a server like this. I'm pretty sure there was in Dark RP, right? Yeah, a whole lot of generic stores down this way. Oh man, it is starting to become agonizing just going street by street trying to see everything. And granted, I'll probably be cutting a lot, stuff that doesn't really go anywhere or that I don't have anything to say about. But good lord, this map is huge. I mean, I probably could have explored Southside like twice over by now. This is that place that had the flickering lights at the end of the street, but I guess the flickering was just a product of VR. Oh, that's weird. It's like that place was calling so much attention to itself, and then it just wasn't. Ooh, a church. I've always been fascinated by these, like, really old churches that are just in the middle of Manhattan Island. Just something that you could never build now. Something that wouldn't be there now. Now that they're trying to maximize the space for the most efficiency possible. Went from somebody to somebody. Oh, I absolutely love gag graves. Lived up to his name. Okay, well this is clearly dig-upable. Come on. I know there's some interaction that will enable me to open you up. No. That was super creepy. First I thought somebody stepped up behind me, and then it was like something was trying to crawl its way out. Well, we can get in, I suppose. Imagine if the player's name appears on the grave when they jump in. Now the question is, can we actually fill it back in? Maybe we could use this to, like, hide contraband and such. Oh, we can! That's a neat and unique map feature. That is so cool. And has really horrifying implications, actually. See, now areas like this are really cool. Where it's commercialized, this is probably all, like, second floor and up, like, office space. But it's not all publicly commercialized, like storefronts and such, on the ground level. This place, like, the ground has shut down for the night, but everything else is still going. And so it makes for, like, a much more, well, in my opinion, more of, like, a dystopian feel. Just lights amid shadow. Not as, like, sort of in-your-face and fake-friendly like Times Square is. Here, there's no pretense of friendliness because they don't even care that you're here. Hello, there's a car dealership with a vehicle on display. Although something tells me we can't hop in and drive it around. Now, that's the job of mods. But what is this right here? Maybe some kind of hotel? Oh, what is it with rich people and just not having signs? Headquarters. Okay. I guess Zorro really branched out and expanded his craft. No such luck. With these swords at the front here and, well, the boombox over there, I imagine that's to set the mood for sparring and duels. Maybe this is how these gangs settle their differences. What's going on, though, if we take the elevator up? I imagine this is going to be one of those times where you end up at the top of a skyscraper. Ooh, panels for key cards. Oh, and that goes even further up. This is the kind of office I want. Right in a corner, able to see out the huge windows on either side. straight down into Times Square. Imagine what a space like this must cost. This is true 80s cool right here. Screen on the wall for video conferencing. And then you realize what's downstairs. And you wonder just what kind of place this is. Here's the boardroom. They probably just talk to each other, like, from that office to here on that screen. Like, the big boss just refuses to stand up. But let's see what's up these stairs. What must roof access in a place like this look like? Oh, not roof access. Further rooms. All this serenity and class, but you know it must all be paid for by criminal enterprise. Yeah, that seems like this is what it is. It's a tower high above the city where you can't hear the trains and the traffic noise. And you can just relax after whatever gruesome business you're taking part in. Or at least that's what it feels like. Then again, I seem to be associating every place with criminal activity. The richer, the more criminal. But this is by far the most insane view we've yet had. Right underneath the Trade Center. I got jump scared by a rock just now. I didn't expect it to come into view like that. That's a nice looking car, although now that I get closer, a little scaled up Hot Wheels model and its details. And drawing on top of the detail on the glass for some reason. But it doesn't look like there's anything up there for us to actually see. So I guess we just move along then. It's no Central Park, but it's certainly nice to see something green in amidst all this concrete. And if this were realistically dark, or if it were not for those lampposts up above, this would be quite a creepy tunnel to walk through. I guess it's a little bit short for that. Although, why would you put this here? And why does it have to be this dingy? This is not at all what you would expect from the beautiful park above. Or, well, beautiful is a strong word, but you know what I mean. This would have been a bad place for me to get jump scared by my reflection. Some more flags in the distance. Look at this detail. I mean, it's probably inherent to the models anyway, but look. There's even graffiti scribbled on the backs of the payphones. Oh, what a place. Flickering lights lowering their star value and all. At least I assume that's how reviews work. Let's go check this place out. Oh, well, it certainly seems like it deserves that 4th star. I mean, look, you've got a hanging fountain in the lobby and everything. Although I suppose it's not much of a casino if all it is a few slot machines in the front room. Let's have a further look around, shall we? Place is more parking garage than actual facility. Although I suppose that is somewhat realistic. What's the point of elevator music if it's only going to play for like a half second? Let's see what the accommodations are like. not really what you would expect. I mean, do these places not even have their own bathroom? Surely I would rather have that than my own walk-in closet. The rooms on this side, at least, do have a decent view through the open windows. And we can actually open them. Hang on. Ooh. We can climb out onto the ledge, and what a view to look down from. This has a very, very 1408 feel, both in terms of where we are right now and where we just came from. A nice-looking hotel with actually pretty dingy rooms. Up onto the balconies where we're actually supposed to be. I guess some rooms are a little nicer than others, but not much nicer. Yeah, seriously. They had their own bar before they have their own bathroom. Oh, wait, I didn't even notice this before. Pool deck? Okay. Oh, that is so cool. Rooftop pool. I mean, not nearly as nice as the one at the other tower, but still. Oh, there's even more. Where does this go? And a helipad. Yep. This map is definitely meant to be flyable if you're an executive or criminal in need of faster transportation than the public transit. And it's a long way down, even to the parking structure. Yeah, now I'm starting to see the reason for that flickering star. This is a place that presents really nicely at first, but it's a place that's trying to project an image of wealth rather than actually being a place of wealth. But actually, wait, what was the other building that was next to the park? That looks like some kind of like city hall type thing, maybe. Let's go see if that's enterable. Is this enterable? I'm actually starting to think probably not. Oh no, it actually is! Oh, this is so cool. Dual staircases. Oh, this is the courthouse. Ah, this is where they have trials and other such hearings for all the criminals who get caught around here. Although this being Gary's mod, I'd have to imagine most criminal chases end with a shootout rather than an arrest. But once again, even if it's not something that would normally be used, especially in matchmaking, or sort of, I guess, like just server browser, it's still giving players the tools to do these things if they so choose. And so it allows really the creative types to stand out in a space like this. All these different meeting rooms and such all off to the sides. And here is the office of, well, maybe the mayor. I actually don't know. Is it normal for City Hall and the courthouse to be the same thing? But even though it's low to the ground, the open space right in front of us and the park across the street actually does give it kind of a nice view all its own in its own way. You know what's an association that I've just come to realize? These kinds of like really wide tiles and these types of offices and reception areas, I can smell that certain smell. I can feel that certain air of, I just don't want to be here. Like, you know, I'm here, I got some kind of business I have to attend to, but I really just cannot wait for this to be over. I've been dreading it all week, and now it's just something I got to deal with. Wow. Crazy how well this map has nailed that feeling. There's a hospital across the street as well. Let's have a look over there. Now, Southside actually had a pretty extensive hospital. And I believe some of you informed me in the comments for that video that there is actually a set of medical mods that can actually necessitate something like that beyond the use of just health packs. This reminds me a little bit of the lobby from Resident Evil 3. outpatient ward, and elevator. Here must be the ambulance entrance. And here are some treatment areas, or at least processing. Upper level is what I hope I pressed. There we are. The level of detail present in this map is insane. Having a whole reception and waiting area. All these posters on the walls and potted plants. I mean, that's just the crazy thing to me, is that a lot of maps have a lot of detail or a lot of size, but rarely both. Observation, rooms for surgery. I have to wonder, I mean, I haven't seen these so-called medical mods, but I really have to wonder what Gary's Mod surgery actually looks like. I imagine it's an absolute laugh riot. Oh, God. Imagine if there were to be, like, some kind of, almost surgeon simulator style minigame that you play. All your friends are watching from the window. Oh, that would be hilarious. As your Dr. Kleiner model, like, squirms around on the table. But yeah, as with Southside, actually quite a bit of space. Although in this case, quite a little bit of liminal space. It's so weird to have, like, couches and such just right here where patients are being observed. These 2D textures on doors make it so hard to tell what can and can't open. I mean, in a space like this, it's pretty clear, but on the rest of the map... I have to say, I am actually starting to get a little bit of nausea after all the time I've spent on here. And maybe I want to wrap this up, but I'm pretty sure I'm getting close to the end. At this point, I mean, I've been all up and down, even Manhattan Island at this point, but... when I spend so long in these maps, especially in VR, I do tend to get so absorbed that I just kind of lose perspective on how long I've been in here. I mean, I have no idea how long I've been recording for, probably a few hours at least. But geez, it's like I almost can't remember anything before this. Let's try the helipad. I'm hoping that's where I'm headed. Yep, there we are. And if watching my mom watch ER has anything to do with my upbringing, I probably don't want to be up here when there's a helicopter about. Wow, this is much, much taller than I expected. Oh, and it looks like that building with the sky bridge is actually enterable as well. Well, you can only take 10 damage at a time. Oh my god, my stomach, my stomach, my stomach, my stomach! Yeah, remember how I talked about how I'm getting kind of like nauseous from being in VR for so long? Well, that didn't help it. I wonder if maybe this isn't the actual 4-star hotel. Millennium Tower. See, a real hotel doesn't need to show off how many stars it allegedly has. It just needs to show off how many locations it has by keeping time on all of them. That's how you know a place has true class. You know, like the Hard Rock Cafe. Oh, let's take this elevator up. This can't just be a teleport, right? This has to... Yes. Oh, look. This is so cool. I love how these elevators actually take advantage of the map around them. And actually, you could say that for a lot of this. It's not just every area being individually designed for use with itself. It feels like everything kind of takes into account the space that it inhabits. Really takes account of the fact that it's part of a larger whole of this map. Oh, it is so nice. I can already smell that, like, freshly cleaned carpet smell. Windows that go straight from the ceiling to the floor, making you feel like you're standing on like a cliffside almost. Were somebody not slacking on cleaning these windows? A nice little break room over here for when you need a break from feeling like you're going to plummet to your death any second. And a sky bridge for when you're ready to get back to feeling like you're going to plummet to your death any second. Oh, it's so crazy looking at the buildings over there and knowing we can actually go there. Walking over this whole bridge, and to us it's just a hallway, but from an outside perspective, knowing the absolute drop that's underneath us. Oh man, then you look over the edge and it becomes so clear, and I do not like that one bit. This is all so cool. Man, you just wouldn't think something like that would be able to be suspended this way. I've always liked these types of blinds on an interior office space. I don't know, something about closing them just makes you feel so much more isolated than any other form of window covering. I have very specific opinions about very specific things. Here's a question. Do these windows break? They do! Oh, man. Oh, the potential is here for all kinds of shenanigans. Wait, is that true of the Sky Bridge as well? It is! Okay, this is even worse than before. I will not be taking the same way down as I did the elevators. Oh, imagine during an RP game, you come up here, you put one bullet through each of these, maybe people don't even notice, and just like inadvertently end up walking straight through. Like I almost did, even though I was just completely aware of it. Is this door behind the desk openable? Oh, it is. Probably roof access. And this clock, 11:05, I believe that. Although it does appear to be stopped. Now, the clocks up here in the offices probably only keep the time of this location. Personally, I don't like that. As CEO, I actually think that each clock in the building should tell a different time from a different location, with no labels. I feel like that would keep the employees on their toes. Makes those deadlines real quick. And, of course, a pair of helipads. Man, it's like they expect everybody from the business owners to the slumlords to the, well, I guess even criminal, like, nightclub owners to have their own fleet of helicraft. Oh, right beside the hospital is actually a police department, and I'm assuming that's probably a fire station. So this whole corner of the map right here is where all the emergency services are based out of. Alright, well, let's start with the police station first. Well, that was a weighty door-opening sound. Almost got jump-scared by that plant because it looked like a silhouetted figure standing behind the door. This hasn't been too spooky of a map, but I have gotten spooked a couple of times just because I'm me. Oh, look at this. There's even a room for a police lineup. Stuff like this has to be absolutely hilarious in Garry's Mod when you can manage to get people to sit still for long enough. The plan. I imagine people would be putting their custom sprays all over this for a humorous effect. Evidence lockup. Interrogation. Look, it's even got the one dim light. Oh, absolutely perfect for getting answers. Ooh, and there's even a two-way mirror. Or I assume that's what it is, right? Yeah. I am addicted to these things as a concept. There's so much you can do with them. I guess down here is probably where their holding cells are. Man, with all these New York buildings, I've noticed this in real life too. The basements always seem so much like deeper and steeper than you would expect them to be. Oh, wait. Is this actually a firing range? Ah, hey, cool. I wonder if it actually... Ah, they do actually get knocked down. All right. Come on. Why is that not lining up right? Oh, it's because for some reason the tracking just would not let me tilt it up at the exact angle that I needed. Alright. So this must be another armory then. But what else is here? These are all locked, even to me as the player. We've got holding, and then we've got super holding, I guess. And the parking garage. Fire station. I wonder if there are mods that would actually, like, necessitate having a fire department in your RP server. Oh, look, it's got the pole and everything? Okay, well, we're definitely not leaving without doing that. Oh, these things are amazing. Oh, it's an actual ladder. That was behaving, well, not nearly as slick as you would expect. But then again, part of that might be on me. But yeah, I think that might actually be just about everything above ground taken care of. Well, unless, of course, there's some other crazy skyscraper. Just how many of these things does this place have? U.S. government property, no trespassing. Imagine this elevator goes down and it turns out to be like Men in Black or something. Server rooms and all kinds of surveillance equipment. Big heavy metal doors? What is all this about? And why was it so easy to find? Manhattan Space Station? I took an elevator here. That looks bad. That looks like a bad thing to be at 0. Satellite view of the World Trade Center. This is more than a little bit ominous, given that additional context. What else is there? Yeah, no, this ain't no space station. You can't fool me into thinking I took an elevator to a space station. I didn't momentarily believe that wholeheartedly. But even this place has its view. I think down there must be the hospital. Either this is the hospital or that's the hospital. No, right there is the 4-star hotel. And it's really more like a 2-star hotel. And deep. Whoa. This is an establishment exactly as classy as that office building, because they had the same number of clocks on the wall. Oh, good lord. It says targets acquired, but there's 2 right here in the USA, so just who are these people? And maybe that sign saying U.S. government isn't exactly accurate. This is a straight up... I mean, we've been in a number of criminal lairs, but this is a supervillain lair. Well, I guess I'll just do nothing with this information. Actually, now that I think about it, it is super weird that I came down here thinking that I was below ground, and then you look out and you find you're actually high above the city. That was a bit of a shock, and I just, barely even commented on it because I was too busy talking about the other thing. Just what of the other map can we see from here, actually? Thanks to the fog, not a whole lot, which is probably necessary for performance. But I think it's just about time, if I can't find anything else on the surface, to head downstairs and... Well, actually head way downstairs. I'm talking about to the subway. And see where that takes us. Just a couple more things down this street, it looks like. High-end clothing store. Yeah, this literally looks like it's ripped straight from GTA 4. All these suits on the racks, the store that doesn't really go anywhere in the back. City Bank of Central District. Okay. Now this is a perfect place for a heist. You can't be seen from the front doors. If it goes wrong, you can hold this position. Maybe take some hostages. Yeah. Did I say all that out loud? Sorry, guys. Back office. Hello, what is this? Oh, from over here is where you open the shutter to the vault. And then this probably opens the vault itself. Oh, I wonder if there's a way to, like, require key cards or make it so that only, like, a certain person can access this stuff? Ooh, and there's even deeper vaults. I wonder if you might even have to, like, spend some time cutting through these if you can't get somebody to open it for you. And here are the security deposit boxes. The largest bills I've ever seen on the ground. You know, maybe you don't want to leave these things just, like, haphazardly strewn about like this. It's almost like this place is trying to dress itself for a heist. But it doesn't seem like we can open these. I guess whatever prize players would find in here would probably be sitting on the table itself. I actually think mechanically it's really, really cool when you have to think about, like, physically storing your money. It just adds so many other considerations. You know what actually made me aware of it? I'm actually a huge fan of the game Drug Dealer Simulator. Because you have to come up with ideas for, like, okay, if my place gets raided, like, I want to have a safe in the wall that the cops won't find and I can break in later and get it. Or maybe I, like, you know, stash it all in this other house where I don't do any nefarious activities. It's, like, all kinds of stuff like that. I feel like the more things you have to keep track of in a game, on the one hand, you run the risk of doing it too much and sort of making it too complicated for players. But also you can create more emergent situations, which is what RP is really all for. That's kind of odd. I was just doing a little bit of no-clipping around, and there's just like an empty set of rooms beneath the central subway station. This is a little bit creepy. I have no idea what something like this might be used for. Whether it's something left over or meant to be an admin room or what. Well, in any case, I think it's time for us to head underground and see what the underground is like. For all I know, I'm just getting into this, like, whole huge other thing. And I see the attention to detail has not stopped here. Oh, wow. That's really all this is. It's just like a scaled-down version of the real thing. Oh, look at the dirtiness of these textures. It feels just so lifelike. You've got these edges, and man, I can even feel, like, my feet on the texture. Oh, they should really tell you to stand behind the yellow line. Look, there's even, like, discarded newspapers on the floor. Ads up there. Oh, let's see where this takes us. Oh, down into the dark tunnel. Oh, look at that. Oh, my head kind of phased through the door a little bit, but I think we're okay. Like, I don't think I can be ejected. I really hope I can't be ejected. And this is Central Square Station. Which should probably be Times Square, right? It's kind of weird how the map is called, like, RP New York City, but they're still using, like, the Union City naming and such. Yeah, look at that. Oh, what a view. It's like the opening of a Bethesda game or something. Look at me just sitting on a subway platform waiting for a train. This map is incredible. Oh, are we coming? Yep, there you are. Wow, you really got some crazy brakes on you. Alright, now I'm just going to keep taking these things around, and well, I'm hoping that at a certain point it can maybe bring us right back to where we started. I think that would be a good place to end the video. But man, it is just nuts to me that this is something I'm experiencing on a Gary's Mod map. Waiting for my train, riding the train, seeing the scenery pass by around me. It'll be even nicer once we actually get above ground. I just think that, like, so much of the creativity of the PC gaming community and the Source community, and gamers in general, just feeds into itself. I feel like Gary's Mod is something that... It's not just something that has stood the test of time because it's fun, it's because it's constantly reinventing itself through its community. Oh, wow. Dark, dark, dark. Light again. Downward! Upward! Oh. Oh. Oh, that was probably a teleport, right? But yep, I heard the creak and I recognized the sign. We are back where we started. But yeah, so that was RP New York City. And man, what a map. To go back to my point of what I was saying before, I really do feel like this is like the culmination of everything the Gmod community has been doing for all these years. Because it's not just, hey, somebody made something really impressive. It feels like it's building, just as every other mod does, on everything that came before it. On everything people wished for, on everything people have learned, on everything that's come in the way of mods that supplement this map. I mean, hey, it's built practically around helicopters that don't exist in the base game. We have vehicles that we can stand in as they move around the map, something that I believe was actually a really difficult thing to do. I mean, I know there were mods back in the day that did basically this, but like really poorly. But as for the map itself, taking it completely away from the gameplay that's meant to be experienced here, it's also just such a beautiful work of art. The amount of detail that's present, the amount of care that's put into the environments, and really, the amount of variety in the environments. It is so cool how there's all these different districts and areas, and the transition between them feels so natural. There's not like a hard line where it's like, okay, this is the nice area, and then this is the slums, and then this is where all the skyscrapers are. I mean, we had that one like natural hard transition of the bridge, but aside from that, you can be walking down the street and just find yourself in a completely different neighborhood. Because I do think that the environment, both in terms of geometry and aesthetics, will influence player activity. And you know, I think it's set a really, really good balance between setting the vibe that the creator wants it to have and allowing for those emergent stories for players to make their own memories. Well, I could probably talk a lot more about this, but honestly, I've been on here for like probably close to 4 hours at this point. And I'm really, really tired. It's just like going to the real New York City. You show up, it's cool at first, but now I've been here for a little while, my knees hurt, I'm exhausted, I have at least one stab wound, and I'm ready to go to bed. But if you like this video, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more creepy and comfy content. If you have any ideas for other videos you think I should do, the best place to suggest that will be at the Discord, which I will link in the description. If you want to try this map out for yourself, that link will also be in the description. If you want to support me on Patreon, that link will be in the description. And as always, I will see you in the next one.